guys heard Christopher Cross's new album?
No, I didn't know he had one coming out.
Yeah, it's called Applesauce.
Okay, so
Wow.
do you know how many?
Christopher Cross.
Can I go on a rant just real quick?
Oh, I guess. I mean,
I wanted to talk about my nitrate intake this week, so you interrupted my thoughts.
We've taken so much away from those people. We're going to take that away
From the
too.
nitrates? What are you taking away from people? Again, have you had any hot dogs this week?
No.
You haven't. Congratulations.
I can't because I have gout and I can't eat nitrates or anything other than cherries and apples, and I want to fucking kill myself.
Cherries and apples can be made into delicious things. What about some cottage cheese? Can you have cottage cheese? You can make cottage cheese ice
I
cream.
hate cottage cheese.
what about
Oh my
ants
God.
on a log?
Can you eat
Celery
peanut butter?
with peanut butter and little raisins?
Is peanut butter too fatty?
I think so.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
too bad.
Bitch.
I'm glad I don't have that rich person disease.
Yep.
So.
Me and Ben Franklin, that's all we got in common.
Oh, really? I heard somewhere recently that his teeth weren't wooden. Washington's. Washington did not really have wooden teeth, and I can't remember why they made that up, but it definitely would have probably come from slave teeth.
Wow.
He would have had dentures made from. That's what I heard. It sounds horrifying.
It does.
What am I supposed to do? Believe everything I read, obviously. Ask them if they have wooden teeth.
Hello, last video store on the left.
Do you have wooden teeth?
Shh. Who? Well, I can ask. Hang on. I don't think so. Is there a Mike Hunt? I'm looking for Mike Hunt.
I think I went to school with that kid.
I need Mike Hunt.
There's nobody in here.
There's a couple in the back. I don't think he's here. I'm sorry.
I think I fingered that guy in a police lineup.
Thanks
one
for
time.
calling. Wow.
You definitely did. Oh, that's pretty funny.
Oh, hey, everybody. What's going
Mayor,
on?
good morning.
I saw your light buzzing around my eyeballs. Thought I'd come in and say hi.
Oh, well, good morning. It's nice to see you.
It's good to see you guys. It's been a long time.
No, not really. It's been like a week.
Oh, I maybe passed out a few times. You know, gotta take mental health days.
I know that's for sure. So what's in the cup?
Oh, you want my magic cup?
Always.
Oh, the guy made it for me. He's called Manhattan.
Oh, I love Manhattan.
Yeah, it's whiskey and vermouth and some bitters.
Some boogers?
I hope not. I hope there's none in there.
There's a
It's kinda
floater.
It was sticky, but I thought that was from the cherry.
Oh, cherry. Okay, that must be what it is. Good.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
spicy meatball.
I don't think there's any meatballs in it.
No, but it is definitely strong, pungent.
It's delicious.
That's good. Oh, God, it's burning my butt. I'm going to go in the back.
I imagine the mayor's life is just like a series of Garbage Pail Kid cards.
Just like whatever ones he
Yeah,
pulls out.
Like just go to the next one, and that's what he's doing on a Tuesday type thing.
Okay.
It's always messy. Tessie is always in there.
Very funny. I can't think of any of them now without thinking of literally Pop Sarah Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Oh, wow.
Look like a garbage pail kid.
Exactly, because the Mona Lisa is an overrated piece of shit. And she looks like a Garbage Pail Kid. And then they have the Garbage Pail Kid as the Mona Lisa. It's hilarious. Oh my God, I love that movie. It's so dumb. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the last
Welcome.
video store on the left.
Oh, thank you. So nice to be here.
Well,
Aren't you good looking, the two of you?
Oh, thank you very much.
What are
That's-
you doing in this back alley?
We have to hide ourselves or else the paparazzi.
Right. From our fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's easy back here in the dark.
Sure. That's where I like it too.
Wow.
Yeah, easy in the dark. Welcome. What
Thank you so much.
can we help you find today?
Well, listen, I'm just going through a thing, okay?
What kind of thing?
I'm in between men right now.
Oh, wow.
So I need something to pass the time.
Meaning that there's one on either side and you're between them?
I like you. I like you. Oh, I know where you're going with that, and I've been there, honey. I
Okay.
have.
Okay. But that's not where you are right now.
No, unfortunately.
the other in between.
Things have dried up.
Ooh, that's no good. I don't like to
I'll
hear that.
spare you the details.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Metaphorically or literally?
Maybe.
Okay.
Have you tried online dating? Meeting
Oh,
somebody?
honey, no. Do I look like an online hooker to you?
No.
I'm not saying that I'm a hooker. I understand. But it's just, in real life, there's certain things about me that pop.
Sure.
And other things don't come across so well on the internet.
I think maybe you might want to give it a try. I think we have an inspirational movie for you to try tonight
What?
that is actually kind of like early meeting people online, 1986.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
1986 comedy gem directed by Penny Marshall.
Holy cow.
Okay,
You know?
exactly.
Shamil Shamazel.
Yeah, Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. We're gonna do it. How did you even know I was singing that song earlier? Isn't that so funny? So yeah, the name of it is
Jumpin Jack Flash.
Oh.
starring Whoopi Goldberg.
That's about the internet?
It's about the early workings of the internet and communicating on computers.
Yeah, communicating on computers. So you have a nameless, faceless person on the other side, and you develop some kind of an attachment to them.
What was the marketing tagline to
So-
sell
I don't
this
think-
movie? How did it do?
It was an
don't-
adventure movie, and it
Yeah.
wasn't about online dating. It was
it's not
about
about computers.
espionage.
Right.
It's about online
Oh.
espionage.
It's about
but
giving
not
Whoopi
online.
Goldberg a vehicle to do a movie so she can parlay that her comedian career into a successful Hollywood career. That's basically what it's about.
Samuel L. Jackson basically stole his whole shtick from Whoopi Goldberg. She says motherfucker better than he does. And as often.
When I was a little kid, that's what I knew her by, was the lady comedian that had a very foul mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she said it in such a fun way. It was just kind of awesome. And I think that was like,
Motherfucker.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker.
Her whole like
Yeah.
bit is endearing. She's just because she's genuine, and I think that comes across. So regardless of how bad the movie may be or the writing may be,
You keep saying this movie's so bad.
It's not bad.
It's
It's
not.
actually-
It was
no.
really kind of
Yeah.
fun.
We're
Are you
recommending
wanting-
this awesome movie.
I
so-
remember it being super fun from my childhood, and upon rewatching recently, I did not want to, I wanted to think that it was all nostalgia.
it didn't suck as bad as I thought it was going to.
It was really fun.
That's what a boyfriend said to me once.
Oh, well, that's nice of him. That was a real good compliment.
His name was Jack.
Oh.
I feel like this is
Perfect.
kismet that
It
we're
is.
here.
I know. So
Yes.
I feel like everyone in Hollywood in the 80s who was anybody is in this film.
Yes, everyone's in this film
And like all movies.
Is Sean Connery in it?
Okay,
except
no.
for Sean Connery.
Americans.
Carol
so-
Kane.
Carol Kane. Oh, like young, hot Carol Kane.
Yeah.
They straightened her hair out, unfortunately.
right after
but
Taxi. And then you got Sharon.
Carol Kane was in Taxi?
What? She was Latka's wife.
She was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
That
both
show
had
was so
those
depressing.
voices.
They did.
Mhm.
Annie Potts.
Annie Potts
80s
is in it.
darling Annie Potts.
And
You had-
her hair is big. She
Yeah.
got some big hair. It's
and
amazing.
Sharing the office, you've got Phil Hartman and John Lovitz.
Yep.
Pretty awesome.
Young and thin, John Lovitz. Everybody still got their original teeth. It's amazing. Because Hollywood loves to fuck up a girl. Jesus.
Phil Hartman, hot off his breakup with Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, because the woman who played Miss Yvonne in their Groundlings show of the
Is
original
also-
Pee Wee's Playhouse, which had Phil Hartman in it, the Miss Yvonne is in this movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she sits like across the desk from Phil Hartman. So it's a bunch of Groundlings, because I bet you that Carol Kane was a Groundling, and if she wasn't,
She seems like she
she
would.
seems like it, right? A little bit quirky, like a
Yeah.
little kooky off the wall. For those of you who don't know, the Groundlings are an improv, storied, famous improv group from Los Angeles that has turned out the likes of
Elvira.
Pee Wee Herman,
Lisa Kudrow.
Kristen Wiig.
Wendy McLennan-Covey,
Elvira.
Lisa Kudrow.
Tina Fey.
Carrie
Wasn't
Kinney
she a
Silver.
She
I don't think
seems
she
more
was.
Like a second
She was
city.
Second City.
She
No,
was
she's
Second
yeah,
City?
she's Chicago.
I thought
Carrie
she
Kenny's
was.
from the state.
I thought she was
No,
a groundling.
that's right. She was from the
No,
state.
she's New York.
She was Upright Citizens Brigade, I think, too.
Okay, but
No?
she was with
All right.
She was with Michael Ian Black, and I thought
he was from the state.
Okay, that's right, with Michael Showalter.
There's a lot of weird
Johnny
crossovers in
Bougie.
the improv world that
Yep.
you can't remember.
Yep.
Keeping them all straight. Somewhere there's a family tree that we should look at.
I dated the guy who made that family tree.
Oh.
His name was Ian.
Did it work out?
No.
Oh, it's
No.
too bad.
I lost him to improv.
Oh, I understand.
That's always the case.
I was an improv widow every Thursday at 6, you know.
I do know. I do. Tuesdays at 7. So.
And then you have British actor John Wood, who plays. I guess he's a villain. He's
Yeah.
also he's Professor Falken from War Games. That's where I know him from.
And then her
sort of a villain in that.
Whoopi
Yeah.
Goldberg's boss is somebody. Who's her boss? He's a famous comedy
some
actor
guy with a mustache.
and a toupee.
Tom Selleck?
No, Tom
Oh.
Selleck didn't need a toupee in '86.
Do you know Tom Selleck?
I don't.
Can you get me his number?
Absolutely not. So in this movie, it starts out like all good movies pre-2001, pre-September 11th, 2001.
A shot of.
It starts out with a
Oh my
shot of the
God.
Twin Towers. It's so great.
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. You get to see what New York's fucking Manhattan skyline used to look like.
When I was a little kid, I never knew the Twin Towers existed. I'd heard of them, but the Empire State Building has a very distinct shape. But the Twin Towers are just two
Boxes.
rectangles.
Yeah, just boxes.
And New York is full of big buildings.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It
I
was the
never
same thing
realized.
for me. They're like, oh, it's the Twin Towers. I'm like, okay, well, which
Yeah,
ones
what
are
a-
those?
Yeah. What-
The ones that look identical. I'm like, yeah, but okay,
The
they
biggest
all kind of look.
ones.
yeah.
The biggest ones.
biggest
They
ones.
should have just said the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we meet Whoopi. She works for a bank. It's this room full of people, John Lovitz and all of those guys in the bank, hammering away at their
Doing
computers.
bank stuff. It's
Yeah,
not
talking
it's
to
it's
other-
not clear.
Yeah, talking to other international banks.
Well, the 80s, they were transitioning from analog to computers. So they may have just been like $100,000 data enterers.
Right, like
That was the golden era.
She was
of
talking to
data
people
entry.
around the world.
like the Office
Okay.
Space.
No, she
for
would
the
like
80s. They're
because she
just-
got in trouble at one point because she would sign on with the guy in France
was too
and giving
personable.
him advice with his
some
wife
chick,
or like
Yeah, she
chitty
wasn't
chatting
professional
about the
enough.
family with the
Yeah.
guy from Portugal and like so and they could read your whole readouts.
But it turns out that that's what actually helps her out and, helps get
Drives
this
the
whole,
story forward.
Yeah, drives this whole thing
Yeah,
forward.
drives the story forward. So, Jim Belushi's in this movie.
my God,
as
Jim
a bad
Belushi,
guy.
yeah.
yeah, Jim being terrible, but not as terrible as the last movie we saw him in.
Jesus.
What was that?
What
Red
was it?
Heat.
Red Heat. Yeah.
Or the one before that.
What was that?
Oh,
Real Men.
Real Men was the worst.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
Red
it
Heat
was. No, Real Men was terrible.
No, because Red Heat, he was trying to be dramatic, like Roseanne drama.
Oh,
Bad
he's
dramatic.
just terrible. So he was terrible in this movie too as a bad guy.
He's Albanian.
He
Yeah.
is.
The Belushis are all
Yeah,
bad.
they're
Huh,
bo-
what's their real
Albanian.
name? If it's not Belushi.
Yeah,
it's
it's
got to be
It has to be Belushi.
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 Belushi? I don't know. Belushi.
Albania's that weird country that nobody really knows about, but everybody's from there. Rita Ora, she's Albanian.
She is not.
She is.
Huh?
That other one, Dua Lipa,
No, she's British.
she's Albanian.
Nice.
I think there's some Albanian
I think
gangsters
there's-
that run the pizza place
I-
in downtown
My
where
mom's
we live.
Albanian.
Oh.
I do. I think they're Albanian
Well, I
gangsters.
mean, the Albanian mafia clearly has some pull in the entertainment industry.
They
Like
must.
Jim Belushi's famous.
So do the Scientologists. They made that Elizabeth Moss famous. Ugh.
She has nice skin.
She does.
Too bad about the rest of her face.
And a big forehead.
Yeah, her eyes. Oof, she got some weird like
Laser eyes.
on the side of her head,
I'll
like
kill you.
hammerhead
Which
eyes.
one's Elizabeth Moss?
Handmaid's Tale.
Peggy on Mad
Okay,
Men.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
She was in, what was it, Mad Men? That's how
Peggy
she
on
got her
Mad
start?
Men.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're
Oh, man.
real far apart.
I don't know their names. I never watched the show.
They aren't aerial far apart, but
Whoa,
still
whoa,
really-
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Far
whoa.
All I'm saying.
So anywho, we meet her in her little
That's a different
apartment
one,
that's freezing
I know already songs
cold,
from them.
and
Oh, she's poor?
no, but the radiator doesn't work. She lives in some building with a.
It's New York.
It's New
She
York
lives
in
in Manhattan.
1986.
She lives in a Donald
Yeah.
Trump slum
Yep,
building.
exactly.
It's like, she probably pays a lot of money
But
for
she had
this.
nice Reeboks and a real nice coat on.
And
so.
she had some great movie
Can't
posters.
stay on
So anyway,
So
it's the movie poster. She loved all of the spy stuff, so she's already got a
Right.
penchant for the spy stuff.
she like a lot of film noir and a lot of
You're
of
not
Cold War
funny.
spy stuff.
Because you said penchant.
Penchant? Would you call me?
Penchant.
Penchant.
Penchant, but would you call me?
I said you're not funny.
I wasn't trying to be funny. I was trying to be proper.
Oh, okay. You were patting yourself on the back.
I was
Pretty
laughing
hard.
at myself for saying penchant because it's
We were-
ridiculous.
We were laughing at you too.
I know.
Anyway, so she likes detective stories and film noir, and she's got all these books and novels and movie posters. So it's kind of setting us up for this spy thriller that's about to take place.
So now she's at work. Everybody's there. They're in the bullpen. And they have these no-name computers called Sperry's.
So
like,
dumb.
Like Sperry topsiders?
Like
Like the shoe?
It's just
Yeah.
like hackers. They kind of made up pseudo-names for the stuff that didn't exist yet.
Right. But they did exist. IBM had a bunch of computers that looked just like that in
Oh,
1986.
the computers existed, but
IBM was like, a movie based on a Rolling Stone song? No. No.
So they just scratched off the
And-
IBM and put Sperry on there.
it 100% is based on the Rolling Stones song. And I'm just curious as to how much they had to pay the Rolling Stones to get this off the ground, because holy shit.
How did the song go?
So now
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Well,
it's a gas, gas, gas.
We can't sing it.
Yeah,
I
we have to
didn't sing it.
pay
I'm
Mick
quoting it. I'm
Jagger.
reading the
They'll
poetry.
sue the pants off.
They'll
I'm
close
reading
this
poetry.
video store down quicker than we can
It'll be
blink
like
an eye.
the Verve or whatever.
Please.
Sue us into oblivion.
So
We'll have to break up.
she has, for some reason, there's
There's a guy-
Russian.
Go ahead.
There's Russian female calisthenics that come onto her computer and
Oh,
start
yeah.
playing in like the
All
green.
the computers.
No,
That's-
it's just hers.
I thought it was.
No, it's just hers.
Oh, okay.
Nope, just hers. Somehow they're like, oh, we always get this Russian satellite interference or something. First of all, they call it satellite interference, but then she goes and wiggles the fucking cable and bangs on it, and it goes away.
People didn't have computers. They didn't know.
They didn't
in
understand how
1986.
technology works. It's
you
fine.
could just say words.
I did.
That's right.
I did.
You could.
I did. My dad worked for the man, and I did. So
The satellite flux capacitor's fluxing. Somebody smack it. Somebody stop the microwave.
Wiggle
She
the
did.
cable.
she
Isn't
did
that
all
how
of
they
those
put
things.
people on the moon? They just
That's-
wiggled some cables.
That's exactly how it happened.
And someone wiggled their nose.
Oh, bewitched.
So now she goes back to work after getting in trouble for chatting it up with her European cohorts. And now she starts getting messages from a
The British guy, isn't it?
random guy. She doesn't know he's British yet
Wow.
because he says, "Who is this? This is Jumpin' Jack Flash." Blah blah blah. And
So-
he starts asking her for help, all weird. And if it were today, we'd be like, "Look, you Nigerian prince, I can't give you $1 million. You need to stop talking to me."
It's all in code. Like, his name is code, and she's got to figure out some kind of a code to figure out his dilemma.
But it was touching something inside of her.
It
Some
was.
Yeah, and
She's
she-
a carrot.
need.
he starts quoting the Jumpin' Jack Flash song so that he thinks that he can get her trust. And he says, if you can figure out my code key, then I'll tell you what I need.
Oh,
Code
honey,
keys, that's
if I had a nickel for every time I gave someone my code key.
Right, so he doesn't wanna. So she goes home and she can't sleep, and so she gets up and she puts in a cassette tape of Junk that
Flash.
Jumping Jack Flash.
That was the Fat Boys cover.
Junkin.
And so pre-internet, obviously, like pre-Google, she has to keep rewinding the song and
Cassette.
writing down the lyrics. Because I guess she already threw her liner notes away. She could have
guess.
just looked in her liner notes.
Not all cassettes and not all of cassettes and albums had liner. Had
That's
dial.
true.
Had the,
Sometimes
lyrics.
you just had to work on it. or
Sometimes it
not
had
pay
artwork.
attention.
Yeah, it just had artwork, and
Yeah.
then it just had the producers and all the people behind the scenes that didn't have the
Right.
lyrics.
Well, she stayed up all night long.
So if the kids out there want a lesson on what it was like to find out the lyrics to a fucking song in the 80s, this is the movie that would do it.
Yeah, that montage too. So they montage her writing down the lyrics to the song. So she goes the next day, Jumpin' Jack Flash asks her for the code key. So she just starts randomly putting in Mick Jagger words. And finally she realizes that the song's in B flat. So she writes in B flat, and that's
That's a
the
stretch.
code key. That is a stretch.
I never would have got that.
I mean, you listen to the whole song, and it's just about what key the song's in. It's not even about like, give me a break.
You have
I
to be a
couldn't.
musician.
I would
Right.
have been. That would have ended the movie for me. I don't know the keys of songs. I'm not
know.
that bright.
right.
So she had the music. She had the sheet music out. She's like, anyway.
Oh, of course.
So
course.
We
Yeah.
all had the sheet music in
Don't
the
we all?
80s,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Next to my Casablanca poster.
Mm-hmm.
So he says to her, go to the British consulate and tell them whatever. The dog barks at the moon
Blah,
on
yeah,
Tuesdays or something. So she ask for Department C and tell them the secret code. So she goes and we don't know what you're talking about. You're insane, blah, blah, blah. But now you know they're following her because this is something. So the end.
That's it. Credits roll. No, that she goes and she tells John Wood, who's in the War Games, the evil British guy. She's like,
Bad
hey,
man.
the dog howls at midnight with his neutered balls, whatever it is. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you saying? And
I already went through this.
Yeah, he kicks her out, and then she's just trying to figure it
She's
out.
being followed now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. We're
right.
here. You weren't listening.
I
now.
was drinking the
Do you
drink.
think John Wood taught Whoopi Goldberg how to talk while she typed on the computer?
I kept looking for her QWERTY keyboard movements, like finger movements, and she
they're
wasn't.
all-
Yeah, they're just hammering away on
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
Greetings,
He's
Professor
like,
Falken.
I don't know, Joshua.
yeah.
Don't blow us up.
Wrong movie.
Would you like to play a game?
Totally wrong movie. So she continues her conversation with this guy, even though they say to her, "This isn't whatever." So Jim Belushi shows
This is
up.
where we lost
Jim-
consciousness.
Yeah, Jim Belushi shows up to try to fix her computer. And she's like, wait, we didn't call a computer person. You can't fix my computer. Who are you? So she's like, I'm going to go call the Sperry guy right now.
That's why they put an Albanian in that role, because Albanians are inherently untrustworthy.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Here we go again.
Am I wrong?
We
I
had
don't
somebody
know
in here
any.
before that said it was Italians that were untrustworthy.
Was that who it was?
I wish I remember who that was.
I don't know.
So he's obviously not really from the computer company.
No.
He's trying to get her stuff.
So she goes to call Sperry to get to the bottom of this, and then she turns around.
and Jim
She's a
Belushi's
go-getter.
gone.
He is
Gone.
gone.
Oh.
And the scariest thing in the world is to turn your back on Jim Belushi, and you turn back around, and he's
gone.
fucking gone.
So she goes,
At that point, he could be anywhere.
that's right,
Anywhere.
anywhere.
Open your medicine cabinet.
Under your bed.
Jim Belushi.
So she goes home. Her apartment's been flipped over. Her apartment's been tossed.
Man
Does
with
the heat
one red
work?
shoe.
Yeah, man with one red shoe. I don't know. And then she goes someplace else. She talks to him. She's like, this is happening. He says, go to my apartment and get a frying pan.
Which is refreshing. I'm glad it was a frying pan and not like some other kind of spy trope. I'm like, a frying pan, that's awesome.
So she goes to his apartment. There's obviously somebody following her. She grabs a frying pan. She leaves. He tells her there's some names on the bottom of the frying pan. Contact those people. She can't get a hold of anybody. She finds out that the one dude is dead. So she goes to the funeral and meets the wife. This is Annie Potts.
I feel like she's really gotten herself into a pickle here.
She has. This is a
Yes.
pickle. This is a real pickle.
It's a
And
big
you know,
pickle.
it's interesting because most spy work involves just fucking people for information,
true.
but this is not the direction the movie's gone in.
No.
Unfortunately.
But they do find a way to put her in a real tight, sparkly dress.
Okay.
And she sings Aretha.
She starts out as like, doesn't she? She starts out as, but she ends up as Tina Turner. It's so weird because the wig
No,
is,
I'm telling you, it should have been I think that they were going for Turner, but I bet they couldn't get the rights to the song. So I think they
'cause
probably
that
had
wig
to play.
changed a few, and the length of the dress changed a few times. And then it was, I think she started out as one person and ended up as Tina Turner. It's so
Oh,
weird.
and then there's Michael McKean and Tracy Ullman in line as just a couple waiting in line to get in this party. She has to go to a party at the British consulate. She has to crash this party.
Well-
That's why she's all dressed up with the wig.
So let's backtrack. To,
Sure.
to
There's
the,
so
to the
much
funeral.
espionage.
Before the funeral, who was the guy that got shot into the lake? That guy. Was that the guy's funeral she went to?
No, it was one of the guys on the back of the thing.
Man, there's so much craziness. In
Was that the
Spies.
guy? Maybe that was the guy.
Like
Did
I
John
said-
Lovitz's character ever get developed further?
He's just a bro. He's like a finance bro that she works with.
Okay.
Him and Phil Hartman, they're there for levity whenever there's office scenes.
Sure.
I
But
think I could swear
Carol Kane's the office slut.
that John Lovitz was in an episode of Growing Pains.
Probably.
When the oldest sister, I think there's...
Tracy Gold.
Yeah. got like a temp job as a data entry person. And she was like kicking ass. And all the data entry folks were like, whoa, slow down. You're making us all look bad. I think John Lovitz.
It's funny because in Big, he had the same role with Tom Hanks when he started in the data processing at the toy company. He's like, slow down, pace yourself, pace yourself.
So Penny Marshall,
Weird.
needed a
Typecasted
type.
some lazy
She had
bastard.
it.
She's like,
Lazy
comedians
data
are
entry guy.
lazy.
Love it, you're
Lovitz.
perfect.
He's not going to learn his lines.
Yeah.
He's going to say everything in the same way, so let's just make sure he doesn't have much to
So
say.
actually, there was another director before Penny Marshall, and Lovitz auditioned for that guy, but then that guy left.
You're making this up.
No, I'm not. I swear to God. That guy left, and then Penny Marshall came on board, but he thought the role was gone, but she knew Lorne Michaels, and she knew Lovitz, obviously, from SNL, so she kept him as that role, obviously.
I would like to keep John Lovitz just
Just
like
in
in
your
my
pocket?
basement.
Yeah.
Like I need
The back
someone
room.
to talk to once
Sure.
in a while.
Was
I
Tracy
can use
Ullman
the
on
word.
SNL?
No.
She had her...
Tracy
own-
Ullman.
I know
No,
she
was
had
on
her.
Fox.
I know.
But-
That's right. And it was about 86, right? When The Simpsons started? When did it
This
start?
show
Simpsons
is
90?
started in 89, but Tracy Ullman was on first. I want to say
Yep.
87.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this show has lineage to The Simpsons.
Yeah.
This movie.
Yeah,
You
like
got Michael McKean
Crazy.
and Tracy
Yeah.
Ullman
dude, the
hanging
fact
out.
that Michael McKean's in it, forget
And they
it.
play
It
a
also
couple.
has lineage to The Critic, which is also
Yeah.
a
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah, it's
one.
Love
with
it.
I love The
Lovitz.
Critic.
Yeah,
It
that's right.
stinks.
It's the best. I love that show. So
Anyway, Jim Belushi. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Where were we? Somewhere in the
She
middle
was in
of
a
this.
sparkly dress.
she's gone to crash this party because she needs to get into the computer room because now she keeps
spy
getting
things.
she keeps getting directives from Jack, right? She goes in and stays late and he messages her on the computer and she messages back and
Is she getting paid for all this?
I don't know. You're asking questions, man.
No, she's just a good person, and that's why
That's
she's
what
trying
I
to help him out.
love about movies from the 80s is that these kinds of questions don't ever get asked or answered. You're
No.
just along for the ride.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief, man. They live in an
Yes.
alternate reality.
She's
So-
a good person, and she's got to help her buddy spy person.
You
get
know
out
she's
of-
a good person because her radiator doesn't work. If her radiator worked,
yeah.
she'd be an asshole.
That's right. That's right.
How dare you have a working radiator?
God, you privileged fuck.
So she is running from
Somebody, bad people.
Jim
bad
Belushi?
guys.
Bad
Yeah, Jim
guys.
Belushi and his
Okay.
like cronies.
Clown
There's some
posse.
cronies.
I believe it because you know what I think.
I know. And so she goes to try to use the phone. Okay, so in this bank office in the bullpen where they're all sitting in rows of computers, no one has a phone on their desk. There's like one phone in the bullpen. And she goes over to make a phone call.
If there was more than one phone,
Every-
you'd get no work done.
No, everybody would be on the phone.
No work done.
So she goes over to make a phone call and her boss yells at her. And so she leaves to go make a phone call at a phone booth.
Yeah.
It's like he calls the bullpen just to make sure nobody picks it up. It's like,
Right.
what are you doing picking up the phone?
So she pushes some guy out of the way to go into the phone booth and make a phone call.
Typical New York.
To who's she calling?
No idea.
Annie Potts?
Ghostbusters.
Doesn't matter.
Somebody.
Yeah.
And they
Annie Potts was in Ghostbusters, wasn't she?
and then they somehow or another have a tow truck and they drag her.
So the
This
bad
is
guys, they find her in the phone booth, and they somehow climb on top of the phone booth. With they have a tow truck handy,
Sure.
and they attach a big
There was
hook.
a tow truck out there, and so he knocked the tow truck driver out and took the tow truck, and then they put it
They hooked to the top of the telephone booth, and then they decided to drive away with Whoopi Goldberg in the telephone booth.
The most famous line from the movie is, "I'm a little black woman in a big silver box. Help!" So, it's hilarious.
That's a famous line.
That is
I don't remember that line.
It was in all of the advertisements.
I think you remember that line.
I remember it.
Kelly quoted it to me today. I'm like,
remember.
"Oh hey, have you seen this movie?" And she's like, "I'm a little black woman in a big silver box." I'm like, "Yep, that's the one."
Who's Kelly?
Some girl that we all know.
Oh, okay. She walks by the store.
Yeah, you didn't see her?
I didn't see her. Is she one of those streetwalkers?
No, she's works in the plaza.
All right, I'm just checking.
Maybe You should come out from the alley once in a while.
Maybe
know?
I should.
Meet our
And I
our
shouldn't
plaza
judge
dwellers.
Yeah,
Streetwalkers.
Because
She's
maybe
not a
she's
streetwalker.
beautiful soul.
She
I
works
feel
at the
she has
Froyo.
I feel like she has a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
She's just like Jumpin Jack Flash. She's just like Terry.
Maybe her
Terry.
radiator
Terry.
doesn't work.
She's Terry Doolittle. That's
Terry
her character.
Doolittle.
Terry Doolittle is
That's Whoopi
So,
Goldberg.
yeah.
name?
We skipped over a big plot point. So, by the way, after she goes to the British consulate to meet a War Games guy, this is backtracking. Coincidentally enough, the next day in her office, she gets a new employee. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh yeah, John Tesh lookalike.
John Tesh lookalike Stephen Collins, who is known from his countless TV, movie, and
Dude,
series
if you see him,
appearances.
you're gonna be like, "Holy shit, that's John Tesh," and then you're gonna be like, "Oh no, it's that other guy who looks like John Tesh." It's that guy. What's his name?
I feel like he was on
Stephen
Melrose
Collins.
Place.
Stephen Collins.
He was on everything.
No, neither one of
If it
those
was,
people.
If it was on TV in the 80s and 90s,
Love Boat?
Stephen Collins, probably,
Coach,
maybe.
Maybe.
the Dauber.
No,
No.
he's almost that tall.
That's crazy.
No, he looks exactly like John Tesh.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like maybe even a better looking version of John Tesh.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I know.
But is he married to Connie Selica? I don't think so.
He's not. No, he's not.
He's Tom
He was in-
Selleck's brother.
He was in Seventh Heaven.
Do you know Tom Selleck?
It's Tom Selleck,
Selleck.
not Tom Selleck.
Wow.
Connie Selica.
She drove a Toyota.
Celica.
She's a beautiful soul.
So this is some of Whoopi Goldberg at her best. She's running around ranting at people, being upset,
First of all, the whole-
screaming around.
Once the movie gets started, it's Whoopi Goldberg at her best. That's when all her beautiful, genuine comedian flair comes out. It's fucking awesome.
And I think in the 80s, like for 1986, for a little black woman in a big silver box to get a vehicle like that, honestly,
Yeah.
that they didn't sexualize her, right? I feel like
Right.
any leading women in the 80s,
Uh,
they didn't sexualize her at
no,
all in this
I'm
movie.
saying it kind of would have been hard to. Like, that was not her shtick.
But
at
that's
all.
but
Right.
that's what I mean. Like to
And
even
she had already done The Color Purple, so
I was going to say, was this before?
I can't remember. It might have been around the same time.
Okay.
yeah, it might have been around the same time because yeah. But
Yeah.
I just feel like for them to have a black woman comedian
Yeah,
in
it was awesome.
1986
Yeah.
headlining a film was progressive,
Yeah.
and we've
Yeah.
not moved much further than that, have we? That's the most depressing part.
Well, it was great because there was other people. The office was a little bit more diversified than you would find a typical office, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, there was a girl with long blonde hair, and there was a white lady with short brown hair.
Right, and there was a brunette. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
There you go.
She was her friend who was pregnant. The other lady in the office.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you had
She
a
was
and you had a
diverse.
British guy. So yeah.
So this was kind of the precursor to the Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Not even slightly.
That's a big
The
leap.
it comedian gets a vehicle, gets to be themselves.
Yes.
White guy comedian gets a vehicle is nothing. That's not new. White guy comedian having a movie is every white guy comedian since SNL started. So
But it's the same formula, basically.
the difference is that they weren't giving black women who looked like Whoopi Goldberg in 1986 any kind of anything.
That's
The
correct.
difference.
Except for Whoopi Goldberg.
I know, but that would usually probably have gone to Eddie Murphy. You know what I mean? If they were going to give it to some comedian and
Yeah.
they needed somebody to fill some kind of quota, they would have been like, "Oh, we got Eddie Murphy," right? But no, they gave it to her, and I think that is amazing.
The
And now
difference
she
is,
farts on The View, so she's done pretty well for herself.
She farts on The View? Stop.
What's
Tell
the
me more
difference?
about this.
Johnny, what's the difference?
There's no koala in this movie.
Ah.
Tell me more about That's too bad. I did like the
Oh,
koala.
I did like that fucking koala.
Wait,
there.
I want to know more about Whoopi
I've
being
told
disgusting
you
on
as much
television.
as I know is that she's on The View and she occasionally farts, and then it makes it into the Daily Mail where I find out about it.
So she literally just passes gas on air, and
She's
then like,
Whoopi Goldberg.
but does she like, oops, I tooted, or is she just like,
There's
I'm
four
not-
chicks.
I
at
think-
the
yeah.
table.
I tooted,
It could be
motherfucker!
anybody.
I think it turns.
whoever smelt it dealt it?
Exactly.
Y'all
I think it
bitch is
turns
nasty.
into a thing, like a cat fighty thing. Like, you farted. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. And then it's good because I read about it in the Daily Mail, and now I'm telling you about it. She's probably plans it in advance.
It's crazy.
She's crafty.
It's really wild. She's had the same hairdo since 1986. It's just gray now. I guess I can say the same thing.
Ted Danson.
For a long time. They were together for a
they
long
almost got
time.
married.
Yeah.
And then she was with Frank Langella. I mean, she can pull some white boy butt.
That's what I kept thinking about in this movie too. That's what I literally kept thinking. I was like, it's because she can
must
pull
have
those
some
dudes. She can pull them.
pheromones.
Yeah.
Something.
Ted Danson is a good-looking guy.
Hey, Frank Langella back in the day was a fucking tall,
They're
nice-looking drink
tall,
of water.
Both tall, so tall,
Dark, and
right?
handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're no Tom
She's tall,
Selleck.
dark, and handsome too.
There's
She's
no
little.
Connie
She's a little
Selleck.
black woman in a big silver box. No Connie Toyota Celica. So anywho, so they're going back and forth. She's doing his bidding. She goes to find Annie Potts. They've put her in protective services.
Can you talk about the back and forth just a little bit?
Go ahead.
So can you do it?
Why do I have to?
Because it's the green monochrome
Yeah.
zoomers. So computers used to be on a desk,
Oh man.
and they had monitors that only showed the color green.
Yes.
But that monitor actually about halfway through the movie,
Which is why I like the Matrix, all the green tones and the green
It brought you
cursors.
back
It did.
to being a little
Yep.
kid.
halfway through the movie, they start his lines would show up in like a highlighted blue, and hers
Yeah.
would show up in a
Oh.
highlighted red. But at first it wasn't like that. It was just random green digital words. And then
You could tell she worked at a bank because they had the high end that could show the blue.
I know, and the red. It was multiple colors. Because we didn't even have multiple colors on the Oregon Trail. It was just literally
Green.
You died to dysentery in green.
as a stick figure.
Yep.
The bears were green. The green bushes were green.
They were orange. It was orange, wasn't
the
it?
bears orange. Sorry.
I think it was.
You could have either or, but you
Okay.
couldn't have both.
Okay,
That
right.
world did not exist.
I
It was
did not
definitely-
play that game with strategy. In my
No one did.
I tried because I thought I was a better shot than I was. I thought for sure I'd be able to like
always
hunt.
killed
shoot a
two rabbits.
buffalo.
Yeah, I tried. I would always try to catch food for us, and I thought I was a good shot, and I would push it too far, and then somebody would starve to death for sure.
Yep.
You
Well,
gotta
that's
feed
where
8
you put
people.
the name of the boy that you hate in spot number 5, so that he dies first.
I like it.
Perfect. Who did you hate?
Cameron.
Oh, fucking Cameron.
Damn it, Cameron! So, all right, we are sidetracked again.
It doesn't matter. Whoopi Goldberg's going through this thing like a Sam Jackson maniac, telling motherfuckers to shut the fuck up and doing her thing, and it's awesome, and you're loving it. She gets kidnapped and she gets tranquilized at some point.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That was big in the 80s.
that's right.
Tranquilizers
Yeah,
were big,
tranquilizers.
and they acted
Gotcha.
immediately. When you
Yeah.
tranquilize a tiger in the wild, you have to wait like 30 minutes for this motherfucker to settle down
And start
But-
panting and shit,
but, like,
looking at you like I hate you, and their eyes are all rolling back in
But
their
in the
head
80s,
like I hate you, and I'm gonna
look at
kill
a
you.
tranquilizer gun, you're out.
So they did. They tranked her right in the booty.
She was done.
Well, she's considerably smaller than a tiger anyway.
Yeah.
So it's understandable.
She could have died. They could have killed her with that tiger trank.
So she gets tranquilized for what purpose?
I have no idea.
What
That's
did they
why
do
it's
to
an
her?
80s movie. It's an 80s movie.
What did they do to her?
They
They
took her
didn't have
someplace.
money in the budget for quicksand.
True. That's
They-
so true.
They took her someplace and twisted their mustache and told her their plan, and then she escaped. I'm assuming that's exactly what happened.
Oh yeah, I must have fallen asleep. So she definitely does escape,
And then
and
she dresses up like Tina Turner, and the movie is over, and you're so
no,
happy.
she sets some dudes up, doesn't she? She sets them up, and then she finds out that John Tesh is the good guy because there's a shootout in the office, right?
That's right. They come back to the
Belushi
office
and the
where it all
blonde.
started.
There's some kind of a blonde
There's
bad
a bunch
guy.
of bad guys.
Yeah. And they come back to the office and start shooting the place up, trying to kill her. And she does not die. Everybody
dies.
escapes.
Everyone gets down. There's machine guns going off, and you're like, what the fuck's going
It's
on?
like the A-Team.
What's his
Yeah.
name? Collins? The John Tesh lookalike has like been there at every turn for her. Oh, she gets arrested in the restaurant, right? The restaurant?
Maybe.
She gets arrested somewhere for saying that they were part
For being
of the
a small
scheme.
black woman in a big silver box.
Yeah, no, they were these people were part of some scheme and call the cops. And so they do call the cops and the cops arrest her. So then the John Tesh lookalike has to come get her out of jail. There's lots of this like mistaken identity stuff. She's got herself in a whole mess of trouble. Okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
In the espionage game.
Plus, you've got to stretch
Yeah.
the
Yep.
story.
I know this hour 30-minute.
All right, fellas,
Movie.
we need a
You
restaurant
just call
scene.
people motherfuckers for an hour and a half.
I would watch that.
Yeah, I would. I did.
And so she's still communicating with Jack, the British guy, and he's trying to get extricated from a bad
Russia,
situation
somewhere.
in Eastern
He's gonna
Europe.
die. If he doesn't get out,
You
he's gonna be
know,
killed.
Russia was the greatest thing to happen to 80s movies, wasn't it? The Cold
Scapegoat.
War.
That
Such
and South
scapegoat.
Africa.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of South Africa.
That's so touchy.
Yeah.
Because the Russians were they were
Blatantly.
the bad guys.
Blatantly the
it
bad
was
guys.
Official. You could hate the
Yep.
Russians.
Yep. Cold
You
War.
weren't compromised in
Right.
any way.
No.
They were oppressing their
We've never
people,
had any kind of
communism.
warm or Cold War with South Africa.
Apartheid is the
Well,
thing.
the apartheid
We
thing.
weren't a part of it.
Yeah, but that
I
wasn't
know,
our.
but it
That
was
wasn't
like
our thing. We
that
hated
they
the
were
Russians. The
villains.
Russians
The Russians
hated us.
We hated
Started in the
communists.
60s.
Yeah,
They were
every
coming
movie in the
from-
80s was
See,
based
you're-
on like
you're
I'm
white.
pinko
ceding
commie
this point.
scum.
I'm ceding this
Your
point.
white
Why
movies
would
are
you-
bad now.
Why would you even bring South Africa into this?
Because that's
Lethal
the
Weapon,
modern
they-
thing to do.
they-
Lethal Weapon. One movie. You've got one movie.
Actually started in the first movie, but
Yeah,
A franchise doesn't count.
it was like the biggest buddy cop franchise.
ever.
And they were in South
Started
Africa?
the buddy
No,
cop.
all the villains were always South African.
Now we're
No,
South
Okay,
African.
a white South African was an easy target in the 1980s.
But you'd
it
still have to
wasn't-
know something about a part. Like, as
I
kids, we weren't
understand,
watching
I
fucking
understand.
Lethal Weapon. Like,
I'm agreeing with you
huh.
guys.
I
The
wonder what happened to
They were,
Nelson
the,
Mandela.
they were the best thing for the Cold
It was
War
a
and for
bottomless well of plot points.
yeah.
Yes. The Germans served it too a little bit, like the
Sure,
Berlin
yeah.
Wall and shit before
But,
90.
but again, the Russians, they hated us. You know, it was us against them, the mighty USA.
Two big boys on the block.
Yeah.
The hammer and sickle. We had some real like propaganda against
and then
them.
those accents,
Good-
right?
thank
And
God-
those jawlines.
thank
They're
God that's
just
all over.
So good for cinema.
The jaw lines, huh?
Well, I mean, seriously, what happened in Rocky with that big old Dolph Lundgren was supposed to be Russian, right?
He's actually Swedish.
I know, but he was supposed to be Russian. I just said
Yeah, suspension of disbelief. Oh my God, you have to work with this guy every day.
every day. You'd think he'd know something about movies.
Russians are actually very troll-like. They're not like Dolph Lundgren at all.
His wife is 40 years younger than he is.
40?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Dolph
like
Lundgren.
69 and she's like 29.
Wow.
Okay, so
He's
tell
still-
me about a
he's still got it,
pedo
though.
without telling me about a pedo.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. She has all
So
sorts
she
of adventures.
fucks all these Russian guys.
No.
With great jawlines.
No. So they're trying to extricate him. The Brits try to set him up because the Brits don't want him to come home. So they give her bad information to give him because they know she's talking to him. That's who kidnapped her. So she gives him the information the Brits give her, and then she goes and tries to take it all back because she finds out it's bad information. And
Just like the Brits.
that's when
Bad
they come and
information.
shoot up her office, and she
Sure.
finally
Oh,
gets.
we're back to that?
Yeah.
I thought we had passed that.
No, this is towards the. I keep
Oh.
jumping back because
Okay.
we
Yeah,
forgot
we're all over
things.
the place.
Jumping.
Jack
Jack
Flash.
Flash.
That's what we do.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we're jumping.
It is a gas.
It's a gas.
It is a gas.
gas. Whoopi Goldberg. Do you think she says that? Do you think every time she farts on air, she goes, "Oh, it's a gas, Jumpin' Jack Flash"?
And there's no gas in this movie. Like, there's no oil crisis.
No, none.
Oh, hello, everybody. How are you?
Mildred, I thought we weren't going to see you today.
Oh, no, I was a little late because all the boys were playing some new game. But I got carried away in it. It's just so intoxicating sometimes.
Yeah, watching video games. Other people play them, especially. Holy
know,
shit, there's a whole market for that.
It's so dangerous.
is.
I didn't
I know,
even
I'm not being
realize.
sarcastic.
I got up super early today and I was going to do a lot of things, go grocery shopping. And then all of a sudden, at like 7 in the morning, I get caught up in this game. And here I am, and it's so late.
It is so late. So what are you looking for today?
Oh, I don't know. I just want to get out of the house and get out of that crazy video game world that they're in.
You really need to learn how to monetize this. I hope your grandson is monetizing his video
Is
games.
he on
He's-
Twitch? Is he
He's got
streaming?
some like weird itchy thing that he goes on every day, and I got him cream for it, but apparently it's a computer program, and people watch him play these things. It's strange. My hearing's going because I didn't understand. I thought he had like cerebral palsy or something.
Well, why don't you go check out what's in the back room? Say hello to the mayor while you're back there.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, he's
we'll
the
see you in
weird
a couple
guy that
minutes.
smells like croutons.
Yeah, that is Mr. Crouton. That's what we like to call him.
All right, though.
Corn niblet feet.
I don't know where we were with this. She was saying motherfucker to a Russian British guy.
No. So the place gets shot up.
Right.
The John Tesh lookalike saves her. He says I'm British intelligence or some shit. And
It's like, I'm MI6.
and so she's like been falling in love with the guy on the other side of the computer, right?
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
So now she wants to meet him for dinner, and so she sets it up, and he's gonna take her to some fancy restaurant when he's back in New York when he gets extricated, and she sits in this restaurant all night, and it's like the sad scene where she just keeps eating breadsticks, and everybody leaves, and she's still there.
But if they're Olive Garden breadsticks.
But they
it's not
weren't.
too
She
bad.
said, "Why did you have to send me to the restaurant with the shittiest breadsticks?" So, because they're like in the paper, they're like the crunchy ones that come in the paper.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
know.
wrong- You aren't family when you're eating that.
No, you might as well just have a fucking toothpick. I'm just picking the shit out of my teeth with this thing, or pretending it's one of those long cigarette holders. So then John Tesh lookalike shows up, and he's like, "You're so sad. I'm so sorry. He's not coming. He couldn't get out of England and blah, blah, blah," or something. So she's super sad faced. She goes back to work the next day, and Carol Kane's like, "So did you get laid?" And she's like, "Well, why would I? He's not here."
He didn't show up. And then all of a sudden,
She's typing with him. Do, do, do.
and then she does, and this
Typing
is
with
actually
him.
a really cool moment.
She's like, "Well, I don't care if you couldn't make it or not." And he's like, "I'm really sorry I couldn't make it to dinner."
She slams her sunglasses down or something. He's like, "Oh, don't slam your blah 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 down." And she's like,
Yeah, you're gonna
He
break
can
your
see
glasses.
her.
"Break your glasses."
And he comes up real creepy with his old man
so
fingernails
creepy.
behind her. So it's a tight shot of her face looking at the computer screen, and then all you see is like this white man's
'Cause I
like
thought I would
old
think
man fingernails.
I would think it'd be John Lovitz, and I'd be like, "You mother, get off of me!"
right, but like
But who is it?
it's some
It's
old British
Jonathan
white
Pryce.
guy.
It's Jonathan Pryce.
Jonathan Pryce.
She's in love with him?
Not Vincent Price.
No. I don't know
Jonathan
who Jonathan
Pryce.
Price is.
You'd
Oh,
know him
he's
if
a
you saw him.
famous,
Okay.
I think he's probably in love, actually.
stage and film actor. Yeah.
Well,
He's a-
everybody was in love, actually.
Exactly. He's every British actor that was in that movie. He's one of them.
That was like a subsidized film for British actors.
Paid all of their
Exactly.
all their health
Email the
insurance.
prices
But
right.
he's not creepy because he's British. He's
So they ride off into the sunset together, and that's the end of the
nice.
movie.
Yeah.
It would have been
For
funnier.
real? That's the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
That is so internet dating works is the whole point of this, right?
Oh.
You're in between men,
Yes.
and now, even in 1986, by happenstance and
You find
accident,
people.
Whoopi Goldberg found some MI6 white British man to come save her.
And you just have to be yourself.
Yeah, you just have to be your weirdo self. She had so many brightly colored pairs of Reeboks. It was amazing.
And
she was like an original
leggings and
sneakerhead.
socks and weirdo shit. And she had dreads. She had some sick dreads in that movie. It was
It
great.
was cute, and I loved her big old coats. Like she wore like menswear.
Yeah,
She
it
was definitely
weird.
dressing
you
in
know
menswear.
what was weird? She tried to brush her dreads at some point, and I'm like, is this for the white audience that don't understand what dreads are?
But
it
wouldn't
was
that just
really
confuse
weird.
your white audience?
So wait,
It was
you-
weird. I was,
it was
like,
weird
this is not what
because it was her
happens.
getting up in the morning
Yeah.
routine. It was her like getting up montage and going to work.
It's the mid 80s. I mean, people don't understand shit.
And she does. She takes the hairbrush and she like brushes them across. And it was one of those old fashioned like soft bristle.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a purpose for that. Maybe you're the one who's
Maybe.
being judgmental.
I've never seen
Maybe.
anyone brush their dreads,
She
but I
should
guess.
have done like a Fonzie thing, like she was
Hey,
going
yeah,
to. but
going
she's
to,
like,
yeah.
"Oh."
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. Actually, I don't know why Penny Marshall didn't direct that.
Right? It's a spin-off.
It was
for
right
fuck's
there,
sake.
waiting for her. I wonder why she cast Lenny but not Squiggy. Why couldn't she have both of
Maybe
them?
they
I think
had a
there's bad
falling
blood.
out.
Is there bad blood with
I think
Squiggy?
so.
I always
There
wonder.
was, but I
Really?
think
What,
that they
between Michael
patched it up.
McKean or with Penny Marshall?
I don't know.
Which one? Who was Squiggy?
The little
Squeaky
one.
was.
But who?
I can't
Michael
remember his
McKean
name.
was a tall one.
Okay.
He's
Squeaky
Lenny.
was the one you remember.
Hello, Levin.
Living.
He played an octopus or something, and like he did a lot of voice acting.
But
I
they
can
made
see
it up
that.
because when she did
Oswald.
when Penny Marshall directed A League of Their Own, Squiggy was the voice. He was the announcer for the baseball.
Okay,
That
so maybe
sounds
in
like tossing somebody a
1986.
bone.
that they had whatever had happened. I don't know why. I think that I don't know if he disappeared or if he had some medical problems.
He had a lot of medical problems.
Issues. Yeah.
Cocaine.
He died a few years ago.
He did.
Tragically.
Well, he was always a little dude.
Okay.
He was a little dude, so maybe that had something to do with whatever. Maybe it was like a chronic illness or a birth defect or something.
He couldn't get around very well.
Yeah, because I mean,
That's
you could
why
tell.
He did a lot of voice acting.
Yeah, even as Squiggy, he obviously was.
Well, see, that's why internet dating can also work against you because you don't know if that's a squiggy on the other end.
Yeah, but you could end up with a Price on the other end.
Okay.
Michael Price?
I was a little
Jonathan
surprised
Price?
that there was no sexting in this. It's like they didn't think
Close.
to invent it yet.
Very close.
Of course they didn't think to invent it yet.
This is
Absolutely
a wholesome
not.
movie. This is a wholesome rated
She
R
wasn't even
motherfucking
supposed to
movie.
be using it for like just banter, right? Like she got in trouble for using this technology for banter. Which is what is it fucking?
Well,
what's
she worked
instant
for a
messaging?
bank.
What's Slack these days? What do you do with Slack? You know what I
You
mean? Like,
sexed with
yeah,
Slack.
we're having a meeting and I'm sharing stuff with you, but also we're just fucking
Here's
around.
my dick on Slack.
No, you can't send your dick on Slack because then the whole office could see it.
Well, maybe they need to see it. Maybe they need to see.
I would
people's-
like to.
Right?
Why don't you just whip it out? Flop it down on the table.
I will flop it down on the video cassettes.
Anyway, I hope you enjoy this movie tonight, my friend.
I do.
Yeah,
I will.
I think you will. And it
Thank
might
you.
really help you get out there into the world of internet dating. Maybe the next time you have to talk to IT somewhere,
Yeah.
flirt with that guy.
Do you think your bony friend over here would watch it with me?
That guy?
No, this one.
Oh,
Hey.
no. No, he's fine.
Okay.
All right.
I
mean,
just
I would
thought
watch it with
draw
somebody.
him out of the alley somehow. I
No,
thought
he
we were
lives
in.
in this alley. He's fine.
Okay.
Well, maybe the mayor.
Occasionally, I let him put on a bathing suit top and leave. He wanders his Captain Jellyfish self out into the sun.
Well, this is why. This is why dating is hard no matter what.
It's true. That is a very wise
I'm just going to
observation.
take my film and I'm going to go.
Well, it's very nice to meet you. What was your name?
Marissa.
With two S's?
Marissa.
Yeah, so you spelled it backwards. It's ass I ram.
Oh, I like it.
Thank
So
you.
that's great.
Is that your name on, what was that stupid movie, Oregon Trail? Was that your name on Oregon Trail?
Yes,
Ass I Ram?
I was a banker.
How did the
And everyone died of
how did the native
dysentery.
Indians feel about that? I called them Indians because that's what they were called on the Oregon Trail.
Sure. They had a fantastic way of sitting too. I just love it.
It was like a Christopher Cross album, basically.
Basically. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I bet you didn't find too many apple trees out there until you got to Washington. Or did Johnny's apple seed even make it out there? Because you
I
know
don't
that's
think
how
so.
we found our
Johnny
apple
Appleseed
trees.
was lazy.
He
No,
planted
he
all.
wasn't.
That's
He
the whole point.
spreaded a couple, and then he stopped by Chicago, and that
I
was
actually read about Johnny Appleseed,
Really?
like the real Johnny
Yeah,
Appleseed.
and he
like
collected-
2 weeks ago. Because they wanted to steal America. They're like, if we plant orchids, that's
Orchards.
orchards.
But orchids,
Oh,
too.
I would love to see that story of America.
Yeah.
we just
We
planted
just want to plant
orchids.
orchids everywhere.
Orchids everywhere.
We were massacred by the Indians.
Tom Selleck planting orchids. We'd have more legal right to it. And so they were giving land away for free if you planted orchards. And so he just kept doing that and selling off the old ones.
Yeah,
Wow. He
was
God bless
rich.
America.
He was
Yeah.
a land baron.
Yeah.
What
I have a-
That's what
motherfucker.
I need. Where do I find? What's the website for those?
A land baron. I don't know. Maybe it's like
Landbaron.com.
yeah, find a baron. Yeah.
Okay,
The Baron of Bad News. Stay away from him.
I'm gonna watch this movie as inspiration
Good.
to turn my life around.
I think you should. Good job.
to use banter and not sex to win.
Not
a
your
Call him a
vagina.
motherfucker, and you might find some love.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Thank you guys. You've
got it.
inspired me.
You're
Thank you
welcome,
for
Marissa.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ass I ram.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Oh, hi, guys. Oh, I found this weird title. It's got, like, nautical themes. I don't know why. Jump on my back fast.
Jump on your back fast, huh?
It's like a boat. It looks like it's like a boat movie, so I'm going to check it out.
Love a good boat. Everybody needs a boat, friend.
Yeah, don't they? You know,
Yeah.
I always heard that you should never have a boat. You should just make friends with someone who has a boat.
That's really good advice.
'Cause then you don't have to deal with all the craziness.
The expense.
So much expense.
Yeah.
So much.
I doubt your grandson will have that problem because it doesn't sound like he leaves the
never
basement.
leaves the house.
No.
He just loves all the boats he knows are in the
VR.
computers.
Yeah. Mhm. Well, enjoy that movie, please,
All right.
Mildred.
You guys have fun.
See you next week.
Hey,
Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah.
what?
Did you have some gas? You got gas ass there, man?
Oh God, it was that Manhattan he gave me. It tore up my stomach.
Oppenheimer.
Who's that? I can't say that without
He invented the
blowing
hot
up.
dog.
I love Oppenheimer hot dogs.
Exactly.
Isn't that chestnut guy eat all Oppenheimer hot dogs on the 4th of July? He's amazing. He's a national hero.
Everybody wants an Oppenheimer hot dog.
Everybody wants the Oppenheimers.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to go get myself a hot dog. You guys made me hungry.
Sounds
now.
delicious.
It does, doesn't it?
Thanks
Oh,
for the Manhattan, Mayor. We'll see you
I
later.
don't like that. All right.
Goodbye.
Guys, bye.
See you.
All right. Well, that guy.
I love it. I love it here. So many characters. So many. I mean, really, seriously. He just said Oppenheimer hot dogs.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. He's a genius and doesn't even know it. All right. Well, let's lock it up, kids. It's time to get the fuck out of here.
Sounds good. See ya.
Bye.